Hello, everyone. Welcome to Excel Weekend number 9. Really want to thank Cristiano for giving me the opportunity to talk once again for this event. I'm really honored to be talking amongst Ali Murray, David, Boriana, Andrew, Carolina. And there you can see me there right here. And right below is Cristiano. So, muito obrigado, amigo. Obrigado. Because again, an honorable opportunity to present at this event. So my talk is about enhancing the defaults, and I want to go to my blog, which is a video blog. Okay, and this is a Spill Graphics. Okay, and I really want to talk about a little bit, or maybe if you don't know me, a little introduction of myself. I just consider myself a guerrilla data analyst. I really just grab the data and work it out as it is, however it is, however complex it is, and really try to get all the valuable observations and insights for the people who need to take action from it and decisions. I've been 10 years in experience doing this, crafting, scalable spreadsheets, that they grow from small data sets to big data sets, taking advantage of Power Pivot and Power Query, and eventually migrating many of those models to Power BI, and then Azure and Power BI, and then Fabric. I've been doing this for 10 years, and a little bit of my resume, you can find it here again on my blog, just in case. The Spill Graphics is right here. This is the website, Spill Graphics, and you can go right here where it says About, and you click there. And again, you can see a complete resume of myself in case you're more interested. To be honest, I don't like talking too much about myself. I really just want to go to my presentation itself. And then here you will find everything that maybe you want to be more, maybe you want to know more about me. So my talk is about enhancing the defaults. So let's go to the blog section right here, okay? Again, I'm clicking on this one. And now there you want to click on this section right here, enhancing the defaults. And here you will find for now 7 posts. Here about the cross marker, here about the concept of helper series, here about the left align axis, here about the debate, maybe the conversation if the label should be on the tip or on the axis. I show how to do both. The red dot on the axis, I get this from Stephen Few. It was phenomenal. The technique really helps for dashboard decision making or dashboard graphical displays. Bolding the axis, a little bit more of the technique of brushing, sort of highlighting, increasing the contrast so people can really focus on the stuff that the user is kind of highlighting with the segment. Here, the contextual reference line, and this concept of really how just a line can give more context to the whole graphic itself. And for now, I have 7 posts, and I'm coming up with 10 more. But in this case, just in case, if you're interested in any of these, if you want to go beyond this presentation, you can find them right here. And let's begin now with what we're gonna learn on this one. So the first thing that I want you to get from this presentation is that the elements of a chart, of an Excel chart, are clickable and editable. So in this case, for example, my first post, the cross marker, if you go here and click Learn More on the green button that you see on screen, I'm teaching you how you can convert that graphic that you will see out of the box from Excel, this blue one right here, and how you can convert it into this, that looks more sort of enhance. And the way I want to teach you here, I go in depth in this video. Okay, you can, just in case, here we just going a little bit faster, a little bit fast forwarding, so because of time constraints. And again, we can see this graph right here, and I'm gonna increase it. Okay, and here I can click the grid lines. For example, I can go right here and click this. I can also click the horizontal grid lines. I can click the markers, okay, those blue buttons. I can click on the axis, the vertical axis scale. I can also click on the horizontal scale. So what I'm trying to say on this post is that you can click it, you can touch it, and because of that, that sort of, it gets a little bit of an intimacy to sort of say, hey, I can touch you, and I can enhance you. And I invite you to do that really, because I show that in that video that I'm converting. As soon as I'm clicking on this chart, you can see that it's referring to this range, okay? And I'm gonna do the same right here. Again, also pointing out to this data, the series for that chart is that. And again, what I show in the video really in detail is like I'm clicking each individual element and I'm enhancing it, tweaking it, and really take advantage of that. Really go ahead and just do not leave the default settings of Excel charts untouched. Really, really, really. Please, I beg you, try to enhance it, okay? My recommendation would be just go into other like examples of newspapers, okay, and check out what they're doing with their graphics and try to emulate what they're doing. For example, if we go back here, and maybe I'm just gonna skip a little bit on this. If you go to the post number 7 and click learn more, many of the graphics that appear after my explanation on how to set up that in Excel are, these charts that are coming from the Financial Times, and you can do that. You can emulate that. That's possible in Excel. For example, this is also possible in Excel with a bar chart, with a column chart, and the numerical axis on the right here, on the horizontal x-axis, and then on the vertical axis as well. So we can sort of enhance a normal chart of Excel and make it like this. We can do that. Many of these examples are possible. That also is also possible to do in Excel. This one is also possible, but it's a little bit more hacky. You have to work with the scatter plot. Okay. This one is also possible. I have seen it possible done. This one is also possible, a band chart going with accumulated values, okay? But you can see how, for example, the people who do these graphics, they care about the details. Look at the grid lines, they're light. Look at the band chart right here. It's also kind of like hash, okay? Check it out, the red and the blue right here, making a little bit of contrast and a little bit of direct labeling right here where it says normal, So all these details is enhanced, and you can do that, of course, with your Excel charts. So in this post, again, I really show you how you can just touch each individual marker, grid line, element of the chart, and really enhance it, okay? And really just go start tweaking. And the way to do that is between the format pane of all Excel charts. In order to activate it, just click on the chart and then Control 1, one of my favorite keyboard shortcuts. And if you see that window popping up, potentially you will see it on your computer docked, but you can undock it as well. So what I'm gonna do is right here with my mouse, you left click, okay, left click and hold it down, but look at my cursor, okay? I'm gonna put it right here where is the header or the title of the format pane. Left click, hold the click, and then undock it, okay? Just pull it to the left, and then you can see it floating around. Why do I promote this? Because you can have it floating on top of the ribbon, and you can expand it and make it bigger. Because here's the thing though, once you move it right next to this one and you click on the markers, there's a lot of options that you can do for the markers. A lot of options. Look at all the options just for borders. Look at all the options for fill, and then look at all the options for the marker option. As you can see, is many of them. And then if you go maybe to right here to the scale, you can see that a lot of options are here for the axis options, for the tick marks, for the labels, for the numbers. So here, what I'm also telling you is that the settings for Excel charts are vast, really vast. And you also have options here, you also have options here, and you also have options here too. So please, don't leave the default settings untouched. Go ahead and enhance them. Try to emulate what the Financial Times, the Economist, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal are doing, okay? All right, let's go to the next one right here and go back and show you that, for example, the helper series concept for enhancing the defaults. Let's click on the green button again, learn more. And I go in depth with the video there that is on YouTube just to show you how to rebuild a graphic like this right here. Look at that. This happens all the time, I see this like 95% of the time, and I tell them, hey, look, we can make this better. But tell me what's your message and who's your audience. Know your data, know your audience. If you know those two things, you can make a good graphic, a good visualization, and beyond that, a good communication. So as soon as he told me, this is what's happening, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm feeling with the numbers, but I want to present it. Okay, and I told him, I think there's two stories on this graphic. And as you can see, I broke them down and I show you how to do that. But the concept of this, the very concept of this is that in order to get this in Excel, in order to get one line to be gray and then the other line to be orange, we need to work with helper series. And the concept of this comes from helper columns. If you learn Excel from many of the other pros, they tell you that you can break a problem or solve a challenge in Excel by breaking the steps by using each individual column and then maybe combining all these and making a mega formula. That concept of helper columns, I'm borrowing it and I'm doing the same, but for charts, helper series, in order to get this effect. Because there's two things here. For example, I'm now going to step back and go to the workbook. As you can see, there we go. Now go to example. And actually, I want to show my meme right here. A little bit of a kombucha girl meme where you can see, don't opt for this. Opt for something more of emphasizing the observation, the insight, telling something more digestible for the audience to say and to grab home and to take for action, for decision. And now going back to this, for example, in order to pull this, okay, in order to make these two charts, I have added all these columns right here. So what I'm doing at beginning is, for example, my original values were in percentage, but look at the symbol of the percentage. You want to plot the percentage symbol all the time on the chart. You want to save that. So what you can do is potentially multiply these numbers times 100 and then plot those numbers that being multiplied. Because at the end, we can just specify in one of the charts just the percentage symbol and say these numbers are percentage values. And that's it. You don't have to repeat the percentage symbol right here. So going back to that, I'm helping my column, helping myself. And also look at the data. The data also came out with date format, but I don't want it like that. I actually want it to be more legible. I want the year and the month. So for that, I also bring another helper column here and look at the formula. The formula is a little bit verbose, maybe long, not complex. Check out the video, okay? I really invite you to check out that video and I'll tell you how to do this from scratch. But that, bringing the chart function and the text, give me that effect that you can see here, for example, right there. Perfect, the here, okay? I'm actually just telling it, hey, from December 2021, this is it. But then from January, and then let's use blue, this is the format. But then I'm not repeating 2022 on any of these months, because I'm telling the audience this month belong to 2022. And for those type of effect, you need some of these helper columns because this is the axis that I'm putting on the chart. Then what I'm doing is the highlight, and the highlight is something of a basic if, but then I'm giving the user to specify with a column like this which dots you want to highlight. If I step back and now check this out, if I put a 1 right here, you will see that you can see it right here, and let me zoom in. That's being highlighted, and that's awesome. Let's do red, because as you can see, the user kind of have control of where he wants to emphasize. This was done like this because we wanted to empower the user to sort of have the flexibility on where he wants to highlight. And it was a bit of an arbitrary sort of task or requirement, but this is what they needed in case they potentially might want to increase maybe 2 more data markers in their analysis and emphasize that. So that said, and then again we can delete this, and again you use NAs. NAs are not plotted in charts, and you can see we used many of the columns, okay, about 6 columns in order to get a graphic like this, as you can see here, as opposed to the original work, which was using this, okay, and then this. But look at the axis though. The axis is horrible. I mean, not horrible, but not so legible, and not that easily can be read by the audience. They will have to tilt down and check out and make the inferences of what month is the date. Okay, that's August. That's okay. No, you have to make it optimal for the audience to sort of not care about that, care about the trend of the line and the cognitive load to about the labels and the message. That's where you want to sort of make them spend their cognitive or cognition. Okay, a bit of a buzzwords there, but once you go and start reading about data visualization and really going deep into the subject, these terms matter. You will understand why we will need to care about cognition and visual perception and many other aspects to make great data graphics. Now let me step back here and go back to the post number 3 on a left align debate and say that this is a very interesting sort of conversation I have with folks, because I was always of the person that I always have him like right aligned, like right next to the bar. And then I started seeing graphics from major news outlet and see that they were right aligning those items of the axis. What I'm referring to is right here, okay? Right here, that's right aligned, okay? Now let's wait until it's sort of left aligned right there. And that's what I was seeing on these newspapers. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Let's try to do it in Excel. And it came to my knowledge or surprise that it's not that easy. No, it's not that easy. Right here I have the Excel file and it's quite hacky. You would think that it's something banal to sort of set up. I mean, why so complex? But it is. And the way to set up on this post, I show 3 methods, okay? And this is one of them, just actually working with the font type and a little bit of a formula to make those spaces and having those spaces be included and then everything to be right line. And I explain with that. But let's see some real examples because, okay, yeah, does this matter? Well, let's see these real examples because I do teach you how to enhance this, okay, how to enhance the axis. And let's see, for example, now you can see this graphic right here. Look, it's left aligned. And you can see right here that this is nice. I mean, it does bring a little bit of a consistency, and that's good because it makes it read everything there. Also, you can see the spaces here, but they're not so dramatic, okay? And now the bars, and then the bars are starting from the same position, okay? Let's see another example because then, for example, this one right here, which is unfortunately about mass shootings in the U.S. Again, look at the sort of the alignment. The alignment is perfect for the countries. The alignment is right aligned for the numbers, and then the bars are left aligned for them from left to right. So it does bring a little bit of I don't know. For me, it looks nice. It invites you to sort of check it out and further. But let's go more complex because right now we just saw 2 bar charts. And let me go step back and here, scroll down. Look at this one, for example. That one is a stack chart and then with the dot plot, okay? And look at the axis. The axis are the, well, I'm jumping all over the place. I apologize for this. Okay, there we go. And you can see right here, like aligned perfectly. And then the bars are also aligned here, starting from here. And then here is also aligned, okay? And this is nice because it does bring a little bit of consistency, balance, and alignment, which is crucial to know for data visualization. A little bit of more complex charts. Oh, I don't know why they didn't load. Let me just refresh the page. As you can see there, we see like a sort of a delta bar. This one, the labels or the items are within the bar, but they're aligned. A little bit of a variation of it. Then you can see this one where you have a cluster bar chart, but look at the alignment of the items also there. These ones are on top of the bar, but also aligned to the left. So again, look, I'm showing you more advanced examples. And quick tip or pro tip, go and check out the graphics of The Economist. They make phenomenal stuff. I mean, really check them out because they make good, elegant graphics, in my opinion. There we go. Here, let's continue. Look at this one. This one overpassed sort of the plot area of the chart right there, as you can see, this section. and but it's left align, and this is key again because again it does bring a little bit of a nice sense of balance. Let's continue here. As again, left align, and again, I included all the examples because I wanted to show you, hey, this is a real thing. You know, this is not something banal. Unfortunately, it's hacky to set up in Excel, but it's important. I think it is nice. And for example, this is more charts. All these charts, to be honest, they're possible in Excel. And with the scatter plot, you can make all these very, I mean, hacky, of course, but at least it is feasible. It is possible. And that's it. I mean, this is it with the left align. Again, if you scroll up to this post, you will get the, I don't know what's showing up. Let's just refresh again the website. And here you will, right below this GIF, you will find the video there on that is embedded on this post in order to how to learn and how to do it in 3 ways. Unfortunately, it's not showing up. It's showing all blank. Not sure why, but okay, no problem. Let's step back. And now let's go to the 4th one. Label on axis or in the tip. Another conversation that I think is important to have. Because the thing is, like, it's also a maybe a banal topic. Let's learn more here. And let's see. As you can see a GIF right there, I'm showing you how, you know, so let's zoom in a little bit and look at the difference, okay? You can have it right at the end. A lot of people like that. I'm like that. I like that. But then I'm seeing on the axis, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this looks good too. I mean, it actually, we have the 2 of the best worlds, a table view because of the number and the item on the axis, a line, and the bars. And if we go to the real examples right here, again, I don't know why the YouTube video is not showing up. My apologies on that. Yep. It's saying that it's taking long to respond. I apologize, but here you will get the link for this video on the description here. I'll tell Cristiano to add it. Let's see some examples. Here is an example from the Washington Post where you can see all the labels are at the end. Okay, look at that. That is nice. Okay, but then how about if we see examples where it's actually on the axis? Like for example, this one from the New York Times. Look at the difference though. You get the plus sign, the percentage sign just once. I think this is good because then the percentage sign is repetitive. I think the plus sign is too repetitive in this case, and I'm not sure if it's, you know, if it's needed. At least we can just put it once and say all these numbers are positive, and then this one is negative. I'm referring to this one, okay? But then let's keep checking. Then we saw this graphic on the previous post, the number of mass shootings. You can see everything aligned. Okay, let's continue. Look at this one, and this one we're gonna jump real quick how to set it up on Excel. Look at the items and the numbers, but not aligned, and you can tell a little bit of it just makes you a little bit uncomfortable because then you're like, oh, what's the? I mean, yes, the item and then the number and then the bar, but then you have to scan a little bit everything. My opinion here would be like actually align the numbers and align the items as you will see how I did in Excel, and also have this visual part of the graphic, you know. And here's actually my setup right here. As you can see right here, the numbers are aligned, or you can have them at the tip, or you can have it on the axis, but it's way better than the previous original version. And here, I'm not calling out the people who made it. I'm just saying the possibility for people to sort of say, which one do you want it, at the tip or on the axis? But many of us go with the tip or at the end of the bars. But sometimes it's very nice to also educate the audience and say, hey, and there's also the possibility to put it on the axis. What do you think? You know, maybe they like it, maybe they don't. But you know, audience is keen. Let me step back here. I don't have more examples of this. And if I go to the workbook here, again, I don't know why the video is not showing up, but again, if you go here, you can see the YouTube video there, the explanation. On the explanation, I include how to build this, you know, from scratch, you know, paca. But the example that I want to show you here, and let me just open it real quick, is actually the example you saw. Is everything as is. It's everything as is, but I'm including the white grid lines. You know, I'm including this effect right here as this. You will learn how to do it functionally. But the only difference here of this chart is that I'm including these grid lines right there. Those right there that you're seeing. But those are not grid lines. Those are arrow bars, okay? So the way to do that is, and I want you to take home this, is that you can do anything with scatter plot. You can do really everything, like pretty much any chart you can do it with a scatter plot, meaning that you can do any chart in Excel pretty much. I think to a certain extent. But for example, what I'm doing here is I'm right click here and I change chart type, and then as you can see, let's just zoom in a little bit. As you can see, the series 1 is my cluster bar, which is this, that, and this, okay? But then the white grid lines are scattered line. So let's step back, and the way to do that is that as soon as you have your data input here, you're gonna grab another data, white grid lines, okay? And then you add it, oh, sorry. You add it, I'm gonna show you the edit of this. And as you can see, I'm pointing out to this section right here. And then for the Y values, I'm showing this section right here. But this is important. Why that 11 and why those numbers? Okay. First of all, we need to take into consideration the magnitude of these numbers. The magnitude is 21 here, 67 here. So I know that these are gonna be within that, though, 60 to 50 to 40 to 30 and so on, okay? In order to emulate the original graphic. So I'm gonna make a series that goes all the way from 0 to 60,000. But then I'm gonna format those to be just 60, 50, and 40. I don't need all those zeros, again, because that makes a bit of a visual clutter. So that's why I use this axis for the label itself, because as you can see here, right at the very beginning, is this one that it shows right here. But the 11, this is important. Why the 11? Because the 11 is the position on top of that first bar right here. Ooh, I just zoomed in. I didn't want to. Right here. This one. Okay. Invisibly, on this chart, the position of this bar is a bit of a 1, a 10. Actually, sorry. I'm getting my head off. Let's do a blue here. Here will be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, a 9, and a 10. And actually, okay, I got my confused here. This can happen, but let's actually do this. Click here. I think right here is the axis, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just tap there. And let's just make it visible, automatic. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So again, as you can see, from bottom to top, from the right here, the 0 goes all the way top, okay? Because here and this position right here is 11, okay? This one is 11, and that's the 11 that we're using there. Because with the scatter plot, we're using sort of that vertical axis on inverse mode. And for that, let me show you real quick. Control 1, show you that it's actually not on reverse mode. It's actually by default, but it's starting from 0 all the way to 11 up. Okay, it's going this way, and I'm using the 11 there because I'm putting invisibly markers right here. Let me just maybe click into one of them right there, and let me zoom in. See those markers? Those markers are those blue dots or circles that you see there. I'm using those as my series in order to put those labels. And this mindset of tricking Excel to do this anyways is something that I also want you to get from this presentation, is that enhancing the default means hacking Excel, okay? But it refines your visualization, it refines your charts. It's worth the time doing it. Your audience is gonna be grateful for it. And that's how you actually set up this. On the video, I really show you how to set up sort of the functionality for this, okay? Let me actually hide again, or maybe you just do Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. And here, the only enhancements is those white green lines that we add them, okay? Once we have the markers, okay? Let me just put the markers. Then we go right here on Format, actually chart design, and we go to this option that says arrow bars, okay? Let's do chart design, and then we go to chart element, and then we go to bars, and then start and standard error. Okay, once you add them, then it's all about formatting the error bars, and that's it. That's pretty much the trick for this. Nothing more fancy than that. But I wanted to show you that it is very good to know the possibilities. Now let's step back here, continue, and right here I'm gonna go. Oh, didn't want to go there. Let's step back here and go to the fifth. Okay, the red dot on axis. If we click learn more, this one is crucial too, because I show you with another video, and this one did show up. Okay, how to set this up in Excel. It's also not hard, and we can do it horizontally or we can do it vertically. Usually the vertical one is the most common, but we can also do it horizontally. Also, sorry, with a line graph showing, hey, when there's a variation above the medium or the average or the minimum or the maximum, hey, make an alert on the axis, and we can do that with that powerful red dot. I get this technique from Stephen Few, and I want to be thankful and distribute the credit backwards, because it was him where I learned from. You go to this post and you will see the links to that I mentioned here. You know how to. I mean, those are good papers to read from Stephen Few, and then a couple of other posts seeing the red dot in action in real life. And here's, for example, a dashboard done. You know. And you can see the red dot right there that is calling your attention and say, hey, we need to do something on data warehouse. And then on data warehouse, why? You see that is right here on the abilities 93%, but something is calling your attention because, see, this tick mark right here is not close to this as opposed to the other one. So this is something calling the attention and say, hey, something is going on here. And also it's calling your attention for customer satisfaction, also calling your attention for budgeting system. And not to pay attention to everything, but to pay attention where the red dot is being signaled. And that's the power of that. And I think it's also possible in Excel. These are more examples of the red dot in other dashboards that also appear on Stephen Few's website. The red dot doesn't have to be red itself, but it can be another color. Here, for example, we're seeing a blue color. It makes a good contrast with the dashboard that has a very very purple, very strong purple, or not, pink, very colorful, electric pink on this, okay? And the blue makes sense to have it that way so I can have contrast. Stepping back, now for the 6, bolding the axis is also another theme that I like to talk about, because we can sort of change the color of the bars with a slicer, and I also on this post show you how to do it like very easily, okay? But if we also highlight in the bar, why not also highlight the item so we can increase the contrast? Contrast is a topic that you have to learn in data visualization. It's key to learn it, because as soon as you really get it, making this tweaking sort of emphasize, it's like playing with a spotlight of a theater and then really showing the focus. I'm gonna show you here with my mouse and then do this. Look, it's about doing that, okay? It is really doing that, but with graphics, I'm spotlighting, I'm increasing that contrast. I want those items to be bolded because those are being selected with the slicer, and I show that all in the video. The last one, which is an extension of that, but I also, I don't want to leave with the saying, this is some banal stuff. It is not. Actually, if you scroll down, and you can see real charts where they're actually bolding, okay? And look here, you can see that here was bolded, okay? And actually, let me just change it to red, and that's awesome. That's awesome. A step back, and you can see more charts from The Economist where they're bolding, and this is phenomenal. Here it is bolded. You can see the comparison against the other ones, and here you can also see it is being bolded, okay? It makes a difference, Here, London is the point of focus, okay? The title of the chart. Let me just step back, okay? It emphasized that London is hazed and confused. Here, you can also see, we've seen this chart before, and look at that, the bolded item, So it is things that you can enhance on your charts. It is something that is not to be taken lightly. Here, look at the chart. So you can see bolded compared to the other one, and as well as highlighted for the whole thing. Nice touch, in my opinion. Nice touch. And now, just to end, the contextual reference line. You can also add things to your chart. Apart from tweaking a couple of its elements, we can add elements that sort of enhance or enrich the chart, giving context, perspective. This is good, and we can also attach them to some sort of control, for example, with slicers in this case. And I show you how to do this step by step. Again, we've seen these charts right from the beginning of this presentation, but you can see how the reference line can be just a basic line, can make so much sense, can bring so much context to a chart. You know, his utility is enormous. Here we can see that vertical line there. You can see the vertical line here. You can see the vertical line, well, not like a vertical one, but the normal is sort of saying, you know, this is where this line potentially should be under or below. We can have the line here signaling the after, before and the after, you know, very subtle touch. We can see for example, the vertical line being the zeros and say, oh, actually not the zero in this case, but the regression line, you know, for 3 set of dots. Then we can see the reference line being also in between a little bit over 1.5 and 0 and 1, but also being under 1.5. And we can see how all those dots kind of like in what quadrant they fall into. It's a very small touch, but see, enhancing the defaults is also about enhancing your charts. And I want you to go home with that. Really take that home. Enhancing my charts. I'm enhancing the default settings. I'm also enhancing and making more optimal my chart. And you can see this is one of the posts where I have way a lot of examples, because I really wanted to tell people, hey, look how the reference line here, look at the reference line here, look at it right here, look at it here. It's just so many possibilities, so many charts that you can just implement just a basic line chart, and how much it can increase the chart. For example, here we can see it right here, and it makes so much sense because it tells you, you know, kind of to help compare two of those lines going up, you know. All right, let me step back. There's gonna be more posts coming soon, 8, 9, 10. I already have them in list. I just have to record the videos and edit them a little bit. I really want to thank you for listening to me, for listening to this talk, enhancing the defaults. Really go home with the saying, I need to enhance my charts. There's no way I'm gonna leave them untouched. Please make that your mantra. And again, I want to thank Excel Weekend, the whole team, Lydia and Cristiano, for giving me the opportunity once again to talk. And there you go, Cristiano. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Obrigado, amigo. Muito obrigado for the opportunity to talk again. And I'll hopefully, if granted, I'll see you for Excel Weekend number 10. Hopefully in person. Hopefully, I don't know, Rio or Sao Paulo, whatever it is. But hopefully we can all together in one place, face to face. Take care, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.